Hey guys, it's Lynn here, fixing my hair on a Friday, and I'm back to do another fun video. It's Casual Friday. I have my workout coming up soon, so I don't look too amazing, but that's okay because Sakura Con is 2 weeks from today, and I am very, very excited. I thought about what I wanted to make my next video on, and I was like, I really want to do a good video where if people are going to Sakura Con or going to like an upcoming convention, I can give them some good tips and like ideas. And I decided I'm going to do tips on how to survive a convention weekend. So you guys have probably seen a million videos like this done. So I decided to leave out all the tips that are pretty obvious, like don't forget to eat, don't forget to sleep, don't forget to pack comfortable shoes, stuff like that, which is a little, hopefully you already know this because hopefully you are a human that knows how to take care of themselves. But what I decided to do is write down some tips that I have found to be very, very useful to myself, my friends, the people that I go with every year. And maybe these are also kind of like on a learning curve for you. And maybe you are just starting to go to conventions and you haven't learned these, trial through error kind of things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is even before the convention starts, and that's doing what we call a cos test. Do you guys know what a cos test is? It stands for a cosplay test, which is pretty much a dress rehearsal of your convention weekend costumes. So like if you were in a play, the week before the play starts, or a few days before, they do a costume rehearsal where everyone would get their actual costumes on and then they would like act out their performance. So when you're going to a convention, a really, really good idea is that a week before the convention starts, is you're going to put on everything in all of your costumes from head to toe. So your wig, ears, tail, costume, socks, shoes, even down to the gloves, even down to the contacts in your eyes. Put everything on together and look at yourself in front of a mirror and turn around and make sure everything looks good. This is really, really important because especially for people like me where I buy costume parts online and they don't all get shipped at the same time, so you get things kind of like get one thing, then get thing number two, then get the last thing. Sometimes you won't know how everything looks all together until you actually have it on all together, and you don't want to wait until the morning of the convention because it will be too late to fix something that needs to be fixed, and it will be too late to get a replacement for something that is just not working out with the rest of the costume. Another thing you're going to want to do as you're doing this cosplay costume test is that you should also be walking around in the shoes that you'll be wearing. So for a costume, you can just put it on at home in your living room or house or whatever, apartment, and just walk around in the entire costume and get a feel for like what the shoes feel like. Like, are these comfy shoes? Are they, well, I can't wear these all day kind of shoes, but at least I know probably a few hours will be all right. And also make sure to bend down and feel like if your costume stretches and bends properly. I actually learned this a while ago, but I'm really, really glad because when I had first altered my KDA Aubrey costume, which is the one I am going to be wearing for the upcoming Sakura Con, I had put it all together on to kind of get a feel for like how it was feeling. I had just recently bought some new thigh-high socks and I wanted to see how it looked like with the costume on. And I put it all together on and I was like, oh, this looks good. And I went to go bend down to pick something up and one of the little sleeve parts actually detached and ripped off because I hadn't sewed it tight enough. And this is one of those things where I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God this happened before the convention, because it would really suck if you're walking around all day and the first time you go to bend to pick something up, something just rips off and you're not prepared for that. This will also give you a good idea of the space that your costume takes up. So again, for my costume, I have a tail. I need to know exactly what it feels like to turn around with that tail on and how far out it swings and what position I want it to be in, and like, I need to know how far away people need to be from me so I'm not smacking them with it. So again, get a good idea for how your costume feels, what it feels like to walk, and also how much space you're going to be taking up. Okay, so let's talk about number 2, and this is going to be like the day before the convention happens, and plan to pick up your badges. So don't just go, well, I know I'm gonna pick up my convention badge around this time or around this day, whatever, it'll happen when it happens. Actually write it down in your calendar And, you know, whether it's like a phone calendar, phone reminder, a sticky pad you keep in your pocket, or like an actual like planner if you have one, have it notated down somewhere around what time you're going to pick up your badge. So if you need to go before work, if you need to go after work, or if you are super lucky and you have like the whole day free, when you plan to go during the day. A lot of conventions, Sakura Con included, have started doing badge pickup the day before the convention, which is 100% when I think you should go to pick up your badge. The lines are much, much shorter. It's less crazy. Parking is not an issue. And then also you just feel a little more secure knowing that the morning of the convention, all you have to do is just show up and go and have fun. You're not worrying about like, well, how long is it gonna take me to get my badge before I can go to the first event? Also, if you're gonna go in a group of people, like you have a group of friends you're going with, or someone that you're gonna be competing with, or, you know, just someone you're hanging out with there, try to go all together to pick up your badges at the same time. Most of us have that one friend that is always late for everything, that always forgets everything. We've all been there. We've all dealt with people like that. I can guarantee you that one friend is going to be the one friend that does not go and pick up their badge in time and has to wait in the 4-hour line on a Friday or Saturday morning, causing your entire group to not go to events together. And you don't want that person in your group, so you're going to help them out and be like, nope, we're going to all go together as a group. It also holds them accountable for getting their badge because everyone else is going to be there and they won't get a chance to run late. So yeah, just try to plan when you're going to pick up your badge. You know, if you get the option to do it the day before, make sure you choose that option. Okay, so let's talk about actually going to the convention and, you know, what you want to do when you're there. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is vitamins. Vitamins are such a important part of feeling good. A lot of people forget to, I wouldn't say they forget to take care of themselves, but they forget how important their health is for actually going to a big event where you're going to use a lot of energy. If you are lacking in potassium or iron before a big event, when you go to that event, you're going to feel tired and lethargic and not as energetic as you're used to. And this can happen to a lot of people that are getting down to the last week of, you know, before convention starts, and they're, you know, just trying to get work done, trying to get stuff done costume-wise, and they just kind of aren't eating very healthy because they're eating really quickly and quick meals and takeout and stuff. And a lot of people will think, well, I'll take vitamins, I'll take some immune support stuff the day that I go. And it doesn't really work like that. If you're gonna take care of yourself, you have to do it at least a week in advance. So I would recommend the week before the convention, start taking a multivitamin, start taking maybe like some of those fizzy immune support stuff you can just drop in a glass of water. Just take one a day. It's super simple, very cheap way to stay healthy. And you'll also notice that you will probably be the one who does not get sick or feel tired or feel crappy during the event. I also say this because people tend to get what we call the con flu, which is just, you know, you have a lot of people together in one space from all over the states, all over the world, and those people are going to bring colds and flus with them. And you don't want to be that person whose immune system is just like the whole weekend, because then you're going to be the one to get sick. So make sure your health is doing very, very well. And to also go off this, the next thing I'm going to talk about is eating fiber. So I feel like I'm not going to tell you guys to eat healthy, because I know, like, obviously if you're in downtown Seattle, we have a bunch of awesome food options down there. We have like awesome Chinese food, awesome Japanese food, tons of takeout, tons of pizza. We have Cheesecake Factory literally right across from the convention center, and every type of little convenience store around there you can think of. But what I am going to tell you to do is eat fiber while you are there. It's very, very important for your tummy and for your body to feel good. And also, if you're wearing a very, very tight costume, eating a little bit more fiber will help everything kind of run smoothly, and so you won't get that tummy bloating that people can see in like spandex suits. It'll also make you feel better because it's going to give you longer lasting energy. So instead of getting that super hyper, like the sugar energy that you get where, you know, your sugar metabolizes really, really fast, so you feel really energetic and really good, but it only lasts like maybe 1 to 2 hours. The fiber is going to give you a really long-lasting energy, so you'll be able to go to those late night events without feeling poopy, and you'll be able to wake up Saturday morning without feeling icky and like bloated. I'm not going to tell you not to eat sugar and not to eat all the fun food we have. Like, go for it, because it's a special weekend, it's a special event. You should be able to go and like treat yourself and have a good time with your friends. But what I will say is that, you know, eat a little cup of veggies throughout the day, like even if it's just some carrot sticks or some broccoli, or eat some beans, like get some legumes in your diet, or popcorn's also really high in fiber. So just like if you can pop some popcorn like in a hotel microwave, or buy some like at a convenience store, just a little of this throughout the day will make a very large difference. And of course, if you're going to a convention or event where you are kind of out of options of places where you can get fresh vegetables and fruit or popcorn, just bring some from home. Throw it in like a little snack bag, throw it in your bag, and then if you get some time in the hotel room or whatever, you're like just hanging out by yourself with friends, chilling out, just like eat a little bit while you're hanging out. Okay, so let's talk about the very next thing, and this is something that is so overlooked but so important. And this is something that I learned, unfortunately, through doing it myself, like, and coming up with this error in my head where I just didn't understand why this kept happening. And that's, you need to be flexible with your schedule. So something that you should know if you haven't been to many conventions, or maybe you're kind of new to like the whole convention weekend thing, is that meetups and events can and will change. Some events are going to go over in time, and if they go over in time, the next event will also go over in time. Some rooms at the convention center will have technical issues, electric issues, and they won't be usable. So at the last second, they might have to change the area that an event is in. And then meetups like photo shoots or like group meetups will also change based on when people show up for them. So obviously, if you're going to some very large photo shoot, even if you're there on time, it doesn't mean everyone else is going to be on time. And typically photographers and organizers will wait until the larger, like, majority of the group is there to get started. So even though you might be like, well, I can still hit up the first 15 minutes of this photo shoot before I have to leave, just understand that there might not be anything happening in the first 15 minutes of that photo shoot. It might be pushed back 15 or 20 minutes until the rest of the cosplayers arrive to get their pictures taken. Which is why you don't want to plan things too close together. So don't, well, actually, before I say that, I should say that most conventions release a schedule 2 weeks to a month in advance before the convention actually happens. So like, if you guys have been following along, Sakura Con has just released its schedule. There is a PDF printed version. You can print it out and have a physical copy, or you can get the guidebook app on your phone, which is super, super awesome. It lists all the events, kind of like a little synopsis of what each one is. And then you can also add it into like your schedule, like the My Schedule list, and add reminders. So like your phone will buzz you 30 minutes, an hour, 5 minutes before the event starts to like give you a little reminder so you don't miss it. It will also update you if events have changed location. So if it's in location A and at the last minute they had to change it to location B, that will also update in the guidebook. However, because there are so many events at bigger conventions like Sakura Con, people will sometimes overwhelm themselves because they'll be like, well, I want to hit up like all these different events. I'm just going to make it happen. Okay, I'll just make this schedule where it's like I go A, B, C, D, 2-minute break, then I'm going to run to this spot. I'm going to catch the first 5 minutes of this event, then I have to run to the second thing. When that happens, if something changes in the schedule, whether it's an event running over or something that gets altered, like where the location is or a photo shoot, it will ruin your day because your whole schedule will get messed up. And of course, you also want to give yourself wiggle room in case you get too tired, or maybe your feet hurt, or you have a costume malfunction and you need to go fix it. You don't ever want to be in the position where like everything is like too overwhelming and you haven't given yourself enough time to just chill out and just, enjoy the experience and enjoy having a good convention weekend. So don't plan anything too close together. Understand that you're going to need to be flexible in order to go to this event. The one thing I will say is try to prioritize what you want to do. So if there's one event that you really, really want to do, understand that if that's like the number one thing, sometimes you're going to have to go to that and miss out on other things. It just happens. Littler conventions don't really have this problem because like main events typically aren't all at the same time. They'll kind of stagger them out because they just don't have room to do multiple main events at the same time. But at larger conventions like Sakura Con, a lot of times main events will actually overlap quite a bit. And so you just kind of have to choose like which is my priority A and which is my priority B and that sort of thing. Okay, and then let's get to this very last hint, helper thingy, whatever you want to call it, advice that I'm going to give you. And that is to designate a costume helper. So you guys are probably thinking, what is she talking about? I'm not a professional cosplayer. I do this for fun. It's just a hobby. Why would I need a helper? Let me explain to you why. So I'm not talking about like a personal assistant that's going to follow you around and do everything for you all day, but a friend that you're going with that you can rely on and count on to help you when you need it. So first off, let them know in advance. Tell people like, hey, I know this one part of my costume is problematic. I already know this. Is there any way when we're at this event you can help me out when I need help? And typically it would just be like a friend that you're gonna spend most of your time with there. It doesn't even have to be someone you're staying with. But there is different things that can happen that can make it problematic to like move around at the convention, have an ordinary day, get in or out of your costume when you need to. This would be like if you're wearing like a bulky cosplay costume, you're wearing a very large suit of armor or something that is just massive. It's bigger than you actually are. Getting around the convention center can be a pretty big issue. I will say the Washington State Convention Center is massive and there are so many escalators there and a lot of people wearing cosplay costumes. Them and escalators sometimes don't really mix. You might need a friend to help you get up and down them if your costume is really bulky. You might have to like kind of cram yourself into one to get up and down. It's way easier to have a friend there that's like, okay, I think you can fit in this way. And when you're walking through the hallway, have someone walk next to you. So if you're getting too close to like the crowd or a wall, they can kind of like help you over and be like, whoa, watch out. Don't, break your costume. Another thing is that if you're having something that hangs off of you, like a very large tail or a very large accessory, having a friend there that can just, keep an eye out for you. So like if you're spending a lot of time with someone, they don't really necessarily have to help you do anything, but they can keep an eye out to let you know if the tail is like getting too close and is going to get stuck in something, or if it's, if you're turning and it's swinging out really far, you might accidentally hit people near you, and having a friend nearby that can just like put out their arm or something if they notice it happening is a huge help. We've also had the fun experience of wearing corsets at conventions. So like for a lot of people that want to do any type of costume that has lacing or boning in it. When you wear a corset, it's laced up pretty tight and there's a lot of different little details and lacing. And if you need to change at any point, chances are you're gonna need a friend to come help you do that. So if you're like my friend group who has decided it's totally fine to go shopping in retail shops in convention costumes, which I really wouldn't recommend. I don't know why we did this, but one of my friends wanted to try on some clothing and she was in a corset, so we had to have a friend actually go in to the dressing room and help her like get out of it and then put it back on afterwards. But not even just that, like in the morning when you're getting ready at the convention, if you're like staying in, downtown or around the convention area, having someone that can help you get into your costume. And then of course, if it's an issue like going to the bathroom or something, having just like a tag team buddy that you can be like, hey, I really need to go to the bathroom. Can you come in and help me like get this off so I can go? You don't ever want to be in this situation. I think especially as girls, we've all run into that one person in the bathroom that like was able to get out of their costume but can't like get back into it, and they're like, please help me. And you always feel so bad because it's just like a stranger and you're like, of course I'll try to help you. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try to help you. So you don't want to be in that position if you can help it. So anyways, as I look out into our rainy Washington day, I wonder what our weather is going to be like for Sakura Con, because every year it's different. Some years there's a ton of rain and it's cloudy and dark and cold. Some years it's almost like optimal spring weather where it's like sunny and warm. So I'm just having some tea and staring out at the rain right now, wondering like, is this going to be what it's going to be like in my costume that's not very warm? So anyways, I hope you guys found this video to be helpful and useful and got some enjoyment out of it. I hope I see you guys at Sakura Con if you're gonna be there. Again, I will be in KDA Ari on Friday, and then I will be in the original Ari costume on Saturday, which I am very, very happy about because I just got the tail for it, which was custom made, not by myself, by someone else. And it is super, super awesome. I cannot wait to wear it. I'm totally going out of my comfort zone for both of these costumes, and I'm excited to see how it goes. So anyways, I will catch you guys later. Have a good day, and I'll see you back here for more videos.